Well, good evening, good evening, good evening. It is Friday night. This is Florence Donald. Welcome to the show. It is yet another Friday, and it's Good Friday. Glad to have you in the house. I am elated that we are back on schedule and that we can get some information in that you will want to use and employ in your productivity system. Tonight we have a special show because I'm going to kick off a little series that I'm going to do here, and that is about being productive with text expansion. So tonight is really the introduction to a series of videos, if you will, or live streams that I'm going to do about using this thing called text expansion to improve your productivity. Welcome to the Purposeful Productivity Show. My name is Florence Donald. I am your host. I am also known as Equip Institute on YouTube. You can find me there if you are looking for great information about how to be productive, specifically for professionals, business owners, nonprofit executives who want to be productive, not solely busy. Busy is one thing, productive is another. So I'm excited to have you all in the house with me this evening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get right into the the information tonight, because I want to get through this and I want you all who are joining us to be able to use it. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is, what is text expansion? It may be something you've never heard of before, and this was really, for me personally, when I began to really understand automating my work, particularly on the computer, on my tablet, on my phone, being able to reduce the number of keystrokes I personally had to make and get information out or added to those technologies. So text expansion is a mechanism. It's really software that you use where you take a larger block of text that you regularly type. You type it all the time, maybe once a day, twice a day, 10 times a day, every month. And then you assign it to a smaller, what's called a snippet. And when you type that snippet in, it expands the text to the larger or longer block of text that you type in. Let's give you a couple of examples. One example is something we type all the time, our email address. My email address is super long, but if I've created a snippet where I type 3 letters and it expands that super long email address into the whole email address. So rather than typing out my long name at blah, 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 .com, .net, .org, I type 3 letters, whether I'm on my phone, whether I'm on my tablet, whether I'm on a computer, and that whole long email address expands out. Whether I'm in an email, I'm filling out an online form, I am writing a document, I'm in a spreadsheet, it doesn't matter what I'm in, but the text expansion tool types the rest of it for me. So that's a simple way, and really how I was introduced to it. And I'll share a little bit about some of the software, because there are a lot of software out there, but the few that I've been using and I have used over the years, we'll talk about more in depth in later live streams, but I'll introduce a few of them tonight. So of course, we always have folks in the chat with us, and we do have some folks in the building with us. I want to say good evening, good evening, good evening. I want to start with my moderator, Frank Jackson. Good evening, and thank you for waving your hand at us. Hi, I'm waving back. There you go. And then we have none other than Joshua Uell saying hello, Live Tribe. Yes, indeed. You may be not in the chat, but you are listening because you're maybe getting kids ready, you're preparing dinner, you're driving home, you're in the car, whatever the case may be. Thank you for listening, and thank you for chiming in and being a part of the live tribe this evening. And if you're not part of the live tribe, thank you for being here with us anyway, and wanting to chime in. And if you're listening to it on replay, absolutely we'll want to get your comments later on from the replay. So let's go in. There are some benefits. Like I said, I was introduced to this concept of text expansion quite a while ago. And the way it was explained to me is get your computer to put information in the way you think about the information. That was what was explained to me, what I heard, and I thought, wow, is there a way to do that? And then I figured it out a little bit, and then I've started to see the benefits. So let's talk about the benefits of using this thing called text expansion. Benefit number one is efficiency. Being more efficient with putting words in the device and entering information. Everybody, all of us, more than we use pen and paper the way we used to, now we're typing information into our phone, we're typing messages into our tablets, we're typing more and more information into computers. So the efficiency of being able to get the information entered quickly is one of the first benefits. I figured out very fast that when I had longer pieces of information, I could get the computer to do the work of typing the long information and me type small amounts of information. Again, remember the example I gave. My email address is really long, or my email address is really strange, like it doesn't have a vowel in it, for example, because I wanted to do something unique. Using text expansion, I don't have to be figuring out and using, I'm going to help y'all. Apple, Android doing these autocorrect. I don't have to worry about the autocorrect correcting me when I use text expansion, because it's going to type exactly what I have, quote unquote, programmed. Don't get scared. I'm not asking you to become a, super duper programmer. Really, it's just typing what I want this thing to put in once and then reusing it over and over and over again. That's efficient. Efficient boils down to not how many minutes I can save, but how many seconds I can save. If I can shave 2 seconds off here, another second off there, another second off there, at the end of the day, maybe I saved an hour. That's an hour that I can do something else with than typing, because I've been able to get the same volume of information typed, but I've expended less time and energy to get the same amount of output. I talked about your email. Some examples, things that we use every day: email address, phone number. Email address is even more important these days than your phone number. Phone number, address, greetings, salutations, answering the same question over and over again. Maybe you're in a place in an organization where you get essentially the same question all the time, and you give the same answer all the time. Great way to use text expansion. Write the answer one time, hit 2 or 3 keys, the answer goes out. It's the same answer over and over. You don't have to sit there and retype out on whatever device over and over and over again that same answer. So efficiency is the first benefit of using this text expansion. The second efficiency is accuracy and consistency. What do I mean by that? I can mistype everything. Some days I will reverse letters lot of days. Let me just tell on myself. A lot of days. I will reverse letters when I'm typing. So using text expansion, I get the same information entered without having to remember it or without having to think about it. Let me give you an example of how I use this every day. I work with projects. The project names are super long, and sometimes they're very complicated. They've got acronyms and weird letters in places that you don't think they are because it's all, whatever. Some application, some system, some something. Rather than me retyping that long project name every time I send a status report, every time I send a communication, every time someone asks me a question, every time I have to put the project name in a subject of an email, I type 2 or 3 letters and the whole project name types out in the email, in the subject, in the whatever, and it's always accurate. I didn't forget to leave one of the words out of the title. I didn't reverse the letters. I didn't use update instead of upgrade. Those kind of accuracy, and it's consistent. I get a consistent result every time. So accuracy is important. When we're sharing information, again, it doesn't matter if you're doing volunteer work, if you're in business, if you're on a job, if you're just talking to your family. And maybe I shouldn't say just, but you're talking to your family and you're conveying information and it's something that you're going to use over and over again. That accuracy saves you time, efficiency. It gets the correct information out, and it gets the correct information out on a consistent basis. So that's the second benefit of using text expansion. If you are getting value today, go ahead and hit the like button and let me know. Put some comments in the chat. I didn't say it earlier, but if you have a question as I'm going through, I want to answer your questions. Go ahead and put your question in chat, and I will be sure to get back to it and answer your question this evening, because I want to have you walk away with something that's actionable for you that makes sense to improve your productivity. Remember, we're all about improving our productivity. So we've gone through 2 benefits. The third benefit I'm going to talk about is being able to customize and personalize the information that you put in. Customize. What does that mean? That means I want the information to be exactly the way I want it to be. I'm going to say it in my own voice, but I don't have to retype again, this is about not re-entering the same information over and over again. But these tools allow you to also be flexible. The part of the information that is always the same, it types. But if you have some variable information, dates, names, times, you can set them up so that it prompts you to put in the variable information. So you're customizing it for the person, the date, the time, the client, the whatever it is that you're using it for. You can set these tools up, the software up, to prompt you to put in the 2 or 3 pieces of information that is custom for what you're doing. I use this in a way, every week I write status reports. So the thing that changes every week is the date of the status report, the week that the status report ends. So that's custom every week, but everything else that I put in that says, here's your status report for projects A, B, C, D, E for the week that ended, date. So it prompts me to enter the date of the week ending. Well, let me give you an example how I use this. I'm running multiple projects. Let's just be conservative and say I'm running 3 projects. That means I've got to send out 3 sets of status reports, all with the same date. The project name is different and the date is different. Everything else I put in the communication or in the email that's going out is the same. So I just have it prompt me for the two pieces of information that's different. Everything else is the same. What does it go back to? Efficiency. I've now written the main content once. I get to customize the content as needed. And I get consistent results. Consistent results. That's the benefit. And if I needed to, I can personalize, right? So if I'm sending something out and it's to the same information to 3 different people, then I can have it prompt me to just put the 3 different people's names in. Or maybe I have something where one block of text is applicable and another block of text is not applicable. So I say use this block of text, checkbox, or don't use that block of text. That's the customization and personalization. I've written the information once or the content once. And then when I get ready to use it, using this text expansion software, I get to customize it based on what's needed. I want to say good evening to someone who I always want to recognize, my online video live streaming mentor, Mr. Walter Strong. Thank you, sir, for being in the building this evening. I'm so excited to have you here. Again, if you have a question, we're talking about how to use and what is text expansion, how to use it to be productive, and really truly why you want to use text expansion to be productive. And I've gone through the 3 benefits. Tonight it's not long, it's just me. I know y'all been spoiled with all these other folks, but now you're back to me. And I'm talking about something that started me on my journey of understanding how I could automate everyday task in a way that wasn't super duper hard. It didn't require me to learn how to do a lot of programming, none of that. It just said, you've got a bunch of information you're going to use over and over and over again. How do you use it faster, more consistently, and get the results with the least amount of effort so you can move forward? And the trick was using text expansion. Now, I said I would share a few pieces of software that I use, and we're going to dive into 1 or 2 of these as we go through the series. But I'm going to name a few, and let me just say this. I am not sponsored by any of these companies. I do not have an affiliate link for any of these companies. These are just simply tools that I've used or tools that I've tested. Some I've stayed with and some I've tested that work, and they're easy to use. So the first one, and this was the one that I was introduced first. At the time, I was using Windows computers everywhere. And so I had heard about text expansion on a Mac. So I went on a journey to say, does anything like this work in the Windows world? And I found a product. If you've never heard of it, the product is called Active Words, all one word, Active Words. It's made by a gentleman by the name of Buzz Bruggeman. Buzz is phenomenal. I've been in one-on-one conversations with him. He's very involved with what the product is. He's very committed to it. And I actually have taught others to use it. And I started very simply, the things that I talked about. Okay, let me set up my email address. Let me set up my address. Let me set up my phone numbers. Let me set up my project names. And then I went from there. So Active Words is one of those. It works in the Windows environment. It's very deep. You can do a lot with it, keeping it very simple. Because when I started very simple. I did not do anything extraordinary complex, but it saved me a lot of time. So in the Windows world, that was one. There's another one called Breevy, Breevy, that is available. Active Words is a subscription service. You can go to activewords.com. I think it's about $40 or so a year for the subscription. There's another one called Breevy, Breevy. It works in Windows. Those are the two that I'm familiar with for the Windows platform. They both work. I won't say one is better than the other. I'll just say they both work. The one that I'm familiar with, that I have most experience with, is ActiveWords, because that's the one that I committed to and started using. In the Mac world, and really in the Windows world, the one that I use today, and it works on Mac, it works on iOS, so it works on an iPhone, it works on an iPad, it works on a Mac, and it also works on Windows. What I don't know for sure, because I haven't tested it, is if it works on an Android, which would be an Android tablet or Android computer, and I'm not sure. But if somebody's interested, let me know. I'm more than willing to try to figure out how to get an Android and test it. But that's called Text Expander. Just really the way it sounds, Text Expander. And that's what I use today. There are a few others like Auto Key and Phrase. I'm going to draw a blank. Phrase something. I'll look it up and put it in out to the community later. I'll put it in comments. So those are the ones that I'm familiar with. There are a boatload of these tools. And if you guys are interested, leave it in the comment. Let me know you want me to produce a list of the various tools. I will gladly pull them all together and put a downloadable PDF out so that you have a quick reference guide for them. But that's really the key there, is to use them so that they save you time, improve your efficiency, improve your accuracy, improve your consistency, allow you to customize and personalize the information that you write without a lot of effort, but the output is what you want. I'm going to give you a freebie, and I'll say this on the iPhone, and I'm suspecting it's something that's also available on the Android. I haven't had an Android in a number of years, so that's why I'm saying suspecting. The iPhone has built into it, which also means the iPad has it built into it, a text expansion capability. If you're interested in knowing more about it, let me know. Leave me a comment in the comment, put a comment in chat, put a question in chat. I'll be glad to tell you more about it. But you'll be familiar with it if you've ever gotten a phone call on your phone and you can hit a button and say, hey, I'll call you back because I'm in a meeting. That little message that pops up that you can tap the button is that text expansion capability that's built into your phone. Well, you can write other messages or text strings in the same place that you can just reuse over and over and over again. And I have some of those in my phone and my tablet. So those are ways that you can use it. You can use a third-party application like ActiveWorks, Text Expander, Breevy, AutoKey, all of those. Or you can start with the capability that is already built into your phone or your tablet or your computer to expand out text that you use. Some people may think of this as autocorrection, but it's not autocorrection. It's truly text expansion. So that's really the core of what I wanted to share tonight. I pray that you've gotten some value out of this. If you have, hit the like button. Let me know. Would love to hear that. And as always, you can reach you. I want you to subscribe if you have not. If you're listening and you're listening to the replay and you're part of the replay crew, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, share this content with others. And then you can always reach me if you have a question, you want some support, you want some of the resources that I've talked about at florencedonald.live. That's really it. If anyone, I'm going to come back and see if anyone has comments or questions who are in the building with us this evening. And if you do not, we're going to go to what we always go to, and that is, who has a win of the week or a takeaway from tonight? If you have a takeaway that you'd like to share, I would definitely like to hear about it for tonight. And if you have a definitely this week, a win of the week. This is a very special week in the calendar. It's Holy Week. Tonight is Good Friday, so yes, I am having this on Good Friday. I understand quite a few people are in Good Friday services tonight, so I completely understand. But if you have questions, or you have a win you want to share, go ahead and put it in chat. If you're part of the replay crew, leave a comment, because I still want to celebrate with you. This is a season of celebration, so we're going to celebrate. My win of the week this week is I ended a really long relationship professionally. Today was my last day working with an account that I've worked with for a very long time, and I'm really looking forward to my next, where I will be forced to stretch myself to and grow in my career. And so I count it as a win. I really had to think about and readjust my thinking about what my opportunities are. And as I reflected on it, I've gained so many skills just since October of doing these live streams, being in meeting some of the people in the building with us today, Mr. Strong, talking to you, and just watching and learning and taking notes and trying to apply those lessons. Those are all wins that today I feel like I'm sitting and I'm ready to be catapulted to the next great level of productivity in my life, in my career. Got a long way to go. It never stops, but I'm so excited and so grateful that I have the opportunity. So that's my win. If you have a win you want to share, please feel free to share it. If you have a takeaway, I would really, really appreciate you sharing a takeaway. I'm going to give you a minute to do so. And if you don't have any takeaways, we're going to get out of here. So I will share this. We have funny people in the building. Josh says, enter the flow of purposeful productivity with Florence Donald at florencedonald.live. Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. And you have a win of the week as well. It is developing your very own programming outline for a nonprofit and funding clients. Wow, that is huge. You're developing a programming outline for your own nonprofit and funding clients. I am excited for you. That is a tremendous win. I know that you are someone who works on purpose. If there's no purpose, you won't put any energy into it. In fact, you won't even start working with it. So working on purpose is huge for you. So that's great. Well, everyone, we have had a great time. We are at time. It is 6:58. I'm going to get out of here and let you all get back to your Good Friday. So I'm going to try to do this right. I'm going to put a link to the playlist for this series in here after this video processes. We will be going through an entire month of diving deep into text expansion as a productivity tool for you to use.